length. Oh, really good.
That's probably the reflection point for Pakistan going into...
That's probably the reflection point for Pakistan going into the third and final ODI in 2 days' time. How do we create more opportunities with ball in hand if given the opportunity again? And more importantly, from a boundary count point of view, what options are on offer? Can't see South Africa changing their team too much going into that last ODI. Everyone's pretty much played their hand in the second ODI.
Once again, the sound of the back is so crisp. It's been a standout feature since South African pair came out to bat and has continued on since. Yeah, like you said, sometimes the turnaround, in terms of lack of turnaround time, almost bodes well, because you reflect on it very quickly. The points are just almost repeated in the sense that, right, boys, you know what the job is at hand. Just reassurance. Ticked away for 136 done, 2-4, 2 for 2.
Yeah, brilliant from South Africa in that run chase department. Acquiring a further 28 of 84 deliveries. I've got Amir Sahil alongside me. Amir, where do you feel Pakistan has gone wrong tonight?
Not putting a big total on the board, given the conditions. And that's where I believe they faltered.
Dominant side in this ODI. Batters were tethered by South African bowlers, and then top order batsmen laying the foundation, putting Pakistan under a lot of pressure and doing it easily now.
I think it's fair to say they missed the trick at the toss this afternoon. Perhaps read conditions wrong. This seems like an absolute belt that South Africa is betting on here this evening. I think nothing away from the masterclass we have seen in Quinton de Kock, and now he's orchestrated this run chase, formed some fantastic partnerships. Another opening partnership between himself and Leandre Pretorius yielded 81 runs, and that really set the platform for South Africa. And I think it's so important, especially in this format, that you don't lose wickets in quick succession. I think that's where Pakistan had faltered in that power play. Yeah, we talk about losing 3 to 4 wickets in the T20 format, but equally important in this format as well. If you get blown out the park in the power play, you're always playing catch-up cricket, and you certainly felt that Pakistan could just never recover from that start. Excellent shot for none.
As a batter, you're not supposed to play that straight. Not a good idea, this one. But yeah, there are so many lessons to be learned for the Pakistani side. Never to lose wickets in cluster. They have to learn how to put a big total on the board when they choose to bat first, or they are inserted to bat first. They have to find a way.
It's an excellent little tickle down to fine leg. I think this is on your point. There was almost that little period where Salman Ali Aga got to the crease and they just lost the intensity. One would say, yes, you want to rebuild the innings, but you don't want to lose the momentum in terms of that energy that you bring to the crease. You can still gain the momentum by running hard. Doesn't always have to be boundary options, but like you said, there was just that little phase where South Africa could just dot Pakistan up. And in that phase, you almost feel that they went by the wayside.
Yeah, that must have been influenced by two things. We'll talk about it in the next over.
At the end of 37, South Africa 2-4-4 for 2. Pakistan winning the toss for 6th time in this series. Opted to bat, but it was Nandre Berger who had other plans at the top of the order for Pakistan, finishing with figures of 4 for 46 and restricted Pakistan to 269. And in pursuit, South Africa sitting pretty, 244 compliments of magnificent 100 by Quinton de Kock. He was well supported by Loandre Pretorius and Tony de Zorzi. Short has been pulled into the leg side, but they're only going to pick up a single. Let's get back to your point, Amir Bhai.
You're talking about Salman Ali Aga, that he was squeezed when he came out to bat. There are two reasons. One, when you are short in runs, and then you don't have that belief in the batsman to come. And that's why you actually get into a shell. You do the survival game rather than going after the opposition to revert the pressure. It's a learning curve for this young Pakistani side.
Yeah, shot way in front of square. He's going to pick up a couple as the boundary rider gets there in comfort.
Yeah, and we're not talking about the...
हाँ भैया कहाँ पर हो? ये BMW के आगे BMW ही है, BMW Rapido.
मेट्रो से उतरे 25 मिनट स्टेशन से पहुंचे.
Defend. I was elaborating.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, but I think just to get back to the way Quinton de Kock has positioned himself in this run chase, it just goes to show how good a surface this has been. Now, yes, we talk about the toss having a massive influence in the outcome of a game, but take absolutely nothing away from that spell that Nandre Berger bowled, because that's where you end up winning games. The intensity that he brought to the party, but also the control by both those seamers, especially with the new ball.
See, when I said this is a young Pakistani team, quite a few novices in this lineup, and the selectors are looking for the right combination. One suggestion I want to make here, we need to find a couple of fast bowlers who are so attuned to bowl back of the length. Most of the Pakistani bowlers, they tend to pitch the ball up. They do not extract that bounce, which can trouble the batter. I think if we can bring in a couple of fast bowlers who could actually bowl back of the length and extract bounce, the balance is going to be sorted.
Yeah, I think it's more about the consistency which you're pointing out here. I think from a skills perspective, they've got it all. But because of the amount of T20 cricket being played, the impatience from bowler, that is what led to Pakistan offering that scoring opportunities up front. Talk about a Shaheen Shah Afridi. Yes, he's got a magnificent Yorker. But every now and again, when he misses his length, it becomes a half volley. That's a scoring opportunity. In this format, if you offer up 3 or 4 of those in an over, batters will capitalize. A bit of width on offer. They're going to pick up another one. That brings up to 250 for South Africa in the 38th over. That's the breakdown. How South Africa got those 50-run splits. First one, 52, and then it just got increasingly faster. It was due to 2 fantastic partnerships that had the man of the moment out there in the middle, Quinton de Kock.
The reason why 250s came from 38 deliveries because 2 set batters were batting for South Africa. And they were in charge. Ever since Dizozi has been picked up, the scoring rate has come down.
And I think we've talked about the importance of having an in-batter there at all times. Of course, Pakistan were guilty of having 2 new batters at the crease, and that's where South Africa could really put the squeeze on. But I think I want to come back to your point of the consistency in bowling. And I just feel that from a Pakistan perspective, the bowlers perhaps don't have that reputable action that they can trust in hitting a particular area. That's why they have to go to change-ups quite early. Wow! If you heard the noise of the blade, that were suggested that was going to travel a long way.
Yeah, off late, after scoring his 100, de Kock went awfully quiet. And this time around, got the length, and off she went. No stuttering on the cue, went with the stroke, middled the ball, and did the distance.
Wow, wow, wow. When he hits them, they stay hit. He's got a wonderful swing of the blade. And tonight we were thoroughly entertained. And it's good to see him back in the colours of his country, Quinton de Kock. Crowd catch? Yeah. I must say, these guys in Faisalabad, they can catch.
And caught it with these, sitting on that pillar. Amazing. Yeah, the crowd here in Faisalabad royally entertained, without any doubt. De Kock's 100, Burgers' effort with the new ball, and contribution from Dizozi. All combined in the shape of South African victory here, which is not very far.
Yeah, it's a bit of width on offer, but just managed to drag this too long on. Yeah, both these teams will go away and assess tonight's performance. South Africa will have a lot of right ticks, whereas a couple of question marks formed after that display in the first ODI from Pakistan.
It's going to be a decider. The Pakistan need to come out for that game with a concrete planning. Because this South African team has grown in confidence. They competed well in the first ODI. Were very close to win that one. But it was Mohammad Nawaz in the penultimate over where he hit a big 6.
Yeah, you talk about this tour, and if we follow the trend, Pakistan is in a bit of trouble. If South Africa goes on to win this game tonight, which they should, South Africa in the first T20 victorious, and then a fight back by Pakistan to win that series 2-1.
Go on to win. You're still not sure South Africa is going to win?
The game says ongoing. Respect the game, Ahmed.
It's a wide.
You ask yourself, what will some of those talking points be from a Pakistan perspective? Of course, South Africa would want to make sure that they repeat when they came out this afternoon to bat, early evening that is. There was a similar trend between Loandre Pretorius and Quinton de Kock. It was really to set the tone with bat in hand. And we've seen that from time to time. The balls are staying low a bit. But at the end of 39, South Africa sitting handsome at 259 for 2. Yeah, an absolute beautiful evening this evening in Faisalabad. South Africa needing a further 11 runs for victory. Well, I suppose, Amir, one of the big talking points will be from a Pakistan perspective, and how do they combat that new ball? Because by watching how Berg has operated this evening, I don't think we're going to see anything less come their third and final ODI, which is now a final. Oh, the sound of the bat of Quinton de Kock. That is another magnificent pull shot over mid-wicket for boundary.
He's got the ability to score of good deliveries. And here was a long hop. What was Hussain expecting? He's not going to miss out on those. Too good a player de Kock is. See, one thing Pakistani batters, they need to learn. When a fast bowler is bowling back of the length, how to use your back leg. What we saw from the Pakistani batsmen, not in this game, almost in every game, they commit on the front foot, and from there is no movement. They just hang their bat and they've been getting out. Now, when you're looking to play bowlers who are bowling with pace and also back of the length, you've got to be efficient off your back foot. Otherwise, there'll be struggles.
Yeah, a bit of width on offer. And the captain's not going to miss out. He's helping himself to a boundary on the offside. He's first for the night.
Yeah, he's afraid to pitch the ball up to the batter. He's looking to rely on those cutters, not working. Easy pickings for both the batsmen in this over. Help themselves with boundaries in this over.
Yeah, now just 2 away from that magical W in this second ODI. They had to win this encounter to stay alive in the series. They've done a magnificent job of this run chase. A happy changing room, South Africa.
Won't it be fitting if the captain allows de Kock to score winning runs?
खाने के लिए 3 ऐप, ग्रोसरी के लिए 5, म्यूजिक के लिए 10 और मैसेजिंग के लिए हर हफ्ता एक नया ऐप।
ये नए प्लेटफॉर्म चूज करके थक गया हूं मैं। लकीली इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए सिर्फ एक ऐप, ग्रो, इंडिया का नंबर 1 स्टॉक ब्रोकर। म्यूचुअल फंड, स्टॉक्स, आईपीओ जैसे इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए 1 करोड़ से ज्यादा लोग ग्रो पे विश्वास करते हैं। तो इन्वेस्टमेंट के मामले में कंफ्यूजन को बोलो गुड बाय और करो ग्रो को ट्राई।
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
Some innings from Quinton de Kock. Announced his retirement, back into international cricket. What an innings this evening. Well, we'll have to wait another over. South Africa 269 for 2. Well, power play number 3 being signalled. Not that it will matter anything from here onwards because South Africa need 1. Scores are levelled. That's what Pakistan managed to get in their 50 overs, 269. South Africa with a further 10 overs remaining in this fixture. Oh, he's beaten him all ends up, but an outside edge takes South Africa to victory. It was a victory that was well led by Quinton de Kock on his return to international colours. He has been the architect behind this masterpiece of a run chase here this evening in ODI number 2. This victory also means that it's the joint biggest win for South Africa over Pakistan in Pakistan in terms of wickets.
Yeah, comprehensive win for South Africa, and because of this, they stay alive in this series. It's level. And there'll be a lot of anticipation in the 3rd ODI, which is on Saturday. They outclass Pakistan in every department. New ball from South African bowlers made the difference, a huge difference. From there on, Pakistan was chasing the game. And with the bat, very convincing, especially that man in the picture,